Hello everyone, and you can call me Lucky. By the way, ignore that ping, because that was me trying to unpause the game. Unfortunately, I've been messing around with my hotkeys, so now hitting P does this, and I really need to rework that sometime, get it all working out. That was just reworked for team games. Whatever, not important. So what is important is another game from the Zotac Cup. This time between Lucky as the red Zerg in the top left versus, it says Reaper King, but I'm pretty sure it's Apocalypse as the blue Terran in the bottom right. Now I say pretty sure because the last time I did this I totally insulted two pro players because I thought one was a smurf for the other. That is completely not true. Just, oh my gosh, I'm sorry Monty Tarantius, I'm just stupid. Don't listen to me. Yeah, so anyways, we're going to be having a ZvT on Bel'shir Vestige. All the replays are labeled as Apocalypse, so I'm going to go with this is Apocalypse. It can be a little hard to tell, given that the labeling of the replays usually happens by me choosing which ones I'm going to play from a website that gets them from places, and it's usually really late at night when I'm doing the labeling. So who knows, for all I know, this could be Bomber. That's really about as far as I know. But it's probably Apocalypse. I'm usually not wrong with my labels. And if I am, I usually find out before anybody ever gets to see them. So anyways, yeah. Either way, TVZ, as you all probably know by now, is my least favorite matchup. I don't really enjoy it at all because it's predictable. I mean, yeah, there's the Reaper, there was the hatch first, and now the spawning pool and the gas. I mean, this is just all very, very standard. TVZ gets interesting in the late game, but in the early game, it's Hellions. I mean, that's the thing. It's very, it's not even the fun micro that you usually see in a ZvZ. And it's just so predictable, I could fall asleep almost during these opening salvos, but I shall endeavor to keep it interesting. There's the first Reaper, followed up by a second one. That's not quite as common. Oftentimes you'll only see one Reaper, then the reactor, and the factory. I guess he does need to save up some gas to get said reactor or factory or what have you. And the expansion coming down, because how is the Zerg going to stop him? I don't think he actually scouted the hatch first, but this is one of those matchups where you almost don't need to scout to know what your opponent is doing. There's the factory coming down, second Reaper coming out, not really much of a point. There are already Lings out, and on creep they will certainly be able to keep this Reaper running, at least not able to really do any damage, and just give the Queen enough time to pop out. Basically, not much going to be accomplished there by either of these Reapers. And we do have the factory and the reactor coming down as well. So, yep, basically very, very standard, very, very common, nothing surprising going on whatsoever. Hopefully that will change as the match continues on. Third base coming down already. Doubt it's going to be moved out immediately. That would be just too greedy. I don't think many players really want to risk that much as the SCV is delayed. This expansion nicely done by Lucky, who I have to say is really good at annoying with, oh my gosh, I was just about to say, I've often thought of him as very, very good at just being annoying with Zerglings. Look at that, delaying that factory from landing. This means that the Hellions are going to be a little bit later. Delaying the Hellions is a really big deal in this matchup. Basically, it means that his ability to harass, his ability to have map control, his ability to do anything has been delayed by several seconds, several vital seconds, as a matter of fact. Probably that doesn't seem like a lot to most players in the lower leagues, but yeah, it's a big deal here. Or rather, I should be more specific, it can be a big deal. Whether or not it is a big deal really depends on how the rest of the match goes, but it certainly could be. as everything he does is just going to be a few seconds behind because of that. Or rather, everything he does with those Hellions is going to be a few seconds behind. I doubt it slowed down that Banshee at all, so there's that at least. However, you don't often see cloaking out of Banshees, even though, is this before or after? Was that nerf? What was... I'm trying to remember what the original cost of cloak was. That I think it was 200. So I think they reduced that for this so that Banshees might become a little more viable as cloak. But either way, you often don't see all that many Banshees. Basically, they're very good support for your Hellions in dealing with roaches, in dealing with Zerglings. But I don't think we're really going to see much of a use for them in this game. Without cloaking, they're sort of, well, they're not really as useful as you might expect. Because unless Lucky becomes really aggressive with his Lings, there isn't much that Banshees can do versus the Queens. And that's sort of, basically that's the one thing you have to consider when you're trying to pressure a Zerg or harass a Zerg, is that they have basically built-in defenses on all of their bases, and that can make it very difficult to handle them, especially with the speed boost they gain from just being at home. I mean, speedlings on creep are ridiculously fast. That's what, 6.11? Is that even... I don't even think that's fair, but whatever. Anyways, looking at that, he is going to be taking out a lot of these Hellions. I'm not entirely sure if that was the... No, the Terran does get slightly better. I also want to comment for a second on the addition of the Reapers with the Hellions. I actually think that's a very nice touch, and I feel it keeps the Hellion harass more viable versus large numbers of speedlings, because the truth is that if you don't have Blue Flame, large numbers of speedlings on creep definitely dominate Hellions. There's not all that much you can do. You'll see him do a lot of micro here, putting his Hellions into corners, doing things like right here, he's probably going, yeah, there we go. They're all in corners. Most of the Lings aren't able to hit, and he's able to do a lot more damage this way, but look how many he loses. The thing is that when a Hellion gets surrounded, it's only able to do damage to a smaller number of Lings, whereas Reaper already only does damage to one. In short, a Reaper could actually do more damage than a Hellion to single targets, I'm thinking. They're also a little harder to surround, or when they are surrounded, there's less damage that can be done. And of course they heal. So the addition of Reapers to a Hellion harass might actually be decent. I think that's probably an interesting thought for the future for other players, Reaper Hellion harass. Obviously weak to Mutalisks, which is what we are seeing coming out now. The Reapers in this aren't actually there for any reason. They're just from the beginning, and he's just bringing them along because, hey, they work. But I don't know. I'm thinking about it for the future. The Banshee count actually is starting to get pretty high. 4 Banshees now on the field. I'm not really used to seeing a lot of Banshees. Normally only see 1 or 2, and indeed there is the switch at 4. Wonder if these Banshees going to be able to do much for him in this battle. He does look like he's going to try, and I don't know if he knows this base is here, does he? He does not, but it looks like he's going to find out soon. Engaging those Lings, he wants to try and engage them off the creep if he can. It's not much of an advantage he'll gain, but it is somewhat of an advantage. Basically, that few milliseconds that he's not surrounded will give him just that much damage that he hasn't taken. And of course, he's going to be trying to focus down this hatchery. Those Lings could have engaged there. They were focus firing the hatchery, otherwise they would have attacked the Lings, denying creep and the 4th base. Very nicely played by Apocalypse. The only question is whether or not he has enough Marines to deal with all the mutas coming out. I also have to worry about that Baneling nest. I feel like that may be his undoing here. As the mutas are coming out and he's sending most of his Marines for a drop. I don't know if that's smart, but hey, what do I know? He does have missile turrets in all of his mineral lines, except for this one, which has a bunker, which is just as good, if not better. I'd probably say better, but hey, what do I know? I mean, missile turrets do tons of damage. It's crazy. Either way, there's the Overlord going to be spotting the drop immediately as the Muta's going to be heading out onto the field. Looks like he's going to be dropping them off right there instead of going for the main base. However, those Mutas, I don't think he saw this. I don't think he saw that drop. There's the burrow on the Widow Mines, not able to get any hits off. The fact is that Mutas, though, have to be very, very careful engaging on a field where Mutalisks Mutalisks have to be careful engaging on a field with Widow Mines. Their tendency to clump up can make Widow Mines do tremendous damage to them. Also, they only have a range of 3, so it's very easy for them to be defeated. Also, we have a drop going on over here in the main base. Not sure how much he's going. Oh, there's the spawn. All those Marines all of a sudden in a world of pain as the battle continues over here, trying to micro against those Banelings, but losing absolutely everything except for 2 medevacs who boost out to safety, saving all of his medevacs, but losing all of his troops. I don't know if that's a good idea. Of course, macro solves all problems as he is continuing to build away. And a 4th base coming down for him as well. I don't know if that is going to be able to stand up. I sort of feel like it can't. Not with Mutaling Bane on the field. It's just that's a very, very quick, very powerful... well, I shouldn't say powerful. It's actually not quite as physically... or not physically. Basically, it doesn't hold up quite as well as Roach Hydra does. But the fact is that you can pretty much be everywhere on the map at once with this type of build. He does really have to worry about those Widow Mines, though, because that could really spell disaster for him in the end. But Banelings, I feel, are sort of the counter to everything Apocalypse is doing right now. I don't know. Well... Now, here's the thing. I have to confess, I don't actually like Widow Mines. By the way, I'm saying there isn't creep here, but is there? I mean, I want one of them to just sit there for a bit so I can figure out whether or not it counts as being on creep. I feel like it shouldn't, but I don't see them slow down as they cross it. Either way, Muta's going to be swinging in here. Ling over there harassing. Don't know if that's even going to finish. Either way, they are going to be sweeping in here. Does he have enough troops to defend? Looks like he has some. I don't know if it's enough. Well, I guess it scares him away, so I guess it was. Now, as I was saying before, I do not actually like Widow Mines. Yeah. Oh, Planetary Fortress coming down. The only question is whether or not it'll be done in time to protect him from the units that will be coming soon. Also, I should note that those are slowing down his mining. And the answer is no. Not going to be able to stop it, I don't think. Just too little, too late. Those Banelings actually could just... Or maybe not. Oh, no. Yep, there it goes. I was about to say those Banelings would ruin it right now. And there it does before it's even finished. Now, as I've been trying to say for like 2 minutes... Wait. Those are burrowed Banelings. Hush. Everybody just wait. And... Oh! That was a little anticlimactic, but it was still fun. Either way, I love it. So, now the thing I hate about Widow Mines is that they are just too random. You can't really control a Widow Mine. I mean, there could be 100 not 100. There could be 50 Mutalisks clumped together so that they take up a single area. So one Widow Mine hit would kill them all, and it'll hit a Ling instead. I mean, there are the physics behind it are actually pretty easy to understand. The thing is that I just absolutely hate it. I mean, you can understand the mechanism for why it works the way it does, but the fact is that it's just a very random tool. And it's a little hard to want to use a tool that could just as easily kill you as your opponent. And even if it does kill your opponent, it might not do the big hits you're looking for. Basically, I don't like to gamble like that, but hey, Biomine, very, very powerful anyways. Either way, talking about this battle, I feel like Apocalypse is starting to be a little bit on edge here as he's mining out his bases and he doesn't have another base to go to. On the other hand, he's been just constantly keeping the pressure on here, not able to deny this base though, which is what he would love to do. He almost needs to do it. He's been committing a lot, but the Banelings, like I thought, doing way too much damage to be ignored. That's sort of the problem that he has to deal with, is that these banelings are basically ruining his biomine composition, not able to keep anything alive with them on the field. Of course, it does cost Apocalypse a lot to keep building them, and not Apocalypse, Lucky a lot. Apocalypse has been able to split very well during all of this, so I'm not really sure how this works. These banelings going for the harass. Oh my gosh, this is going to be painful. Oh, especially with that transfer there. Oh, okay. Not actually able to get nearly as much as he could, but hey, still able to get a lot. As the troops move back over here, regathering his strength, I have to say, the thing about Biomine that I've never liked also, well, another thing I've never liked, is that it always looks so frail. It just doesn't look like the kind of thing that you'd really want to do, and that is indeed his main base's command center, as he's hit from multiple sides. Ling's on one end, Muta's on the other. This is what I mean by just a super mobile force. Either way, he is able to drop here. I don't know if he can take that out. Probably not. There's the stem, but there's the Lings too. Muta's pushed back on the side by a force that I don't really think could do it. There's Marauders. I actually like the choice of Marauders since his opponent does have so many banelings. Marauders can easily soak that damage up if you let them lead, or even slow the banelings down if they have concussive shells. Because, I mean, if you look at that, half their damage is done to, they only do half damage to Marauders. So, and also Marauders are just a tad more bulky than Marines. Sort of spreads out the, hits the acid, basically. And those Mutas doing a lot of damage. The damage that they're doing is all to the, add-ons, though. I feel like that's actually sort of the better deal for Apocalypse, and actually, oh my gosh, all those Marines just died. Ouch. Oh, that's the thing. These big Baneling hits are what is costing Apocalypse so much. Going for those medevacs also, he can't afford to lose them. He can't really replace them at this point. Actually, I take that back. He's got a ton of gas. I thought it was just... Biomine apparently is really cheap on gas. I mean, look at that bank. Oh my gosh. Almost makes you wish you were Protoss, doesn't it? So all of a sudden you could be like, ha, Mutiling, Baneling, Mass Archon, have fun. And also, another reason I hate Widowmine. You'll realize I just don't like Widowmines as units. People say they're Imba and, you know, whatever, but I don't remember if they do anymore. They used to say they were Imba. But I find them weak as all get out. As this battle happens over here, gonna have to delay my tirade about Widowmines for a bit. Those Baneling hits are just so monstrous. Oh my gosh, that is his problem, is that he can't stop these Banelings. He really needs to just I don't know what he needs to do at this point. Tanks? Thors? Something needs to take the damage for those things, because he cannot, and look, he can't even keep medevacs alive on this battlefield. Lucky just taking a massive lead, and now this is where what I was saying about the Widowmines is important, because notice how those Lings actually went, well, some of them did, actually went in and the Widowmines didn't activate. The reason behind that is that a Widowmine has a range of 5, but that's not its effective range. A unit that's moving because it takes a second to activate a Widowmine, or like half a second, something like that. Which means that if a unit moves from here to here before the mine can activate, even if it crosses through the mine's path, the mine won't activate. So Speedlings can almost just run right through Widowmines. They almost can't get hit. I think the effective range for a Widowmine versus Speedlings on creep is something like 3. So, in other words, I think it's less than 3. I think it's like 2.9 or something. Somebody figured out the math on Team Liquid's forums. So, yeah. Basically, it's just amazing. There goes the... Oh, no. Oh, my God. If he had gotten that Overseer, it would have been big. Scanning for burrowed Banelings, but those ones just outside the scan. Not something you want to have in your base as a rule. And either way, the bunkers coming down here. I don't know even if bunkers are going to help him much, because Banelings are just so good. He's now being... Oh, here he comes. Will he be able to... Got that. But, oh! That has gotta hurt. Not only... I mean, that... Oh man, that is just painful. And yep, there goes one of his barracks. He's just unable to keep his production safe in this battle. On the other hand, he lost his overseer, but Infestor's on the way. Does he have another overseer? He does not. He's going to be wanting to replace that as long as his opponent continues to go biomine. But I feel like this is, I don't know, I feel like that the transition to Infestors is going to be a huge problem for our Apocalypse buddy. I feel like he needs to do something. He needs to, I don't know what he can do. Delaying mining on this base, all well and good while it lasts. There's another overseer being made. Is he able to? Yes, he is able to get that. Trying to save the medevacs probably will not happen. We'll sort of keep an eye on the mini-map for them as another drop going over here. He's trying to keep the aggression on. If he's not able to keep his opponent back, he does run the risk. And I will say he is slowly closing the gap, finally seeing all of those infestors. By the way, you note that fungal medevac can load and unload units, so long as they are directly underneath. Now the thing is that I've almost not even been realizing is that even though Apocalypse has been sort of on the back foot, his opponent really doesn't have any resources either. I mean, does he even have workers? Yeah, he's got the workers somewhere. I guess, yeah, this base was denied. Again, the base itself was destroyed. He's basically on one base right now versus, well, one base. It's a very interesting position to be in. Not one I would like to be in anyways. And there's the engagement. Oh, big hits. Big hits right there. Going to be scaring him away for a while. Even with the regeneration of mutas, he's got to be careful, as they already will start to heal. Probably will be less than a minute before they're all back to full health. Fungal on those, you have to be careful about that there, Fungal. And I realize I do not have the production tab open. We're seeing a little bit more Marauders. A lot of Widow Mines on the field. How many does he even have? 20 Widow Mines. Oh my gosh. I don't know whether to be scared or what. Widow Mines not. And another big hit. These Widow Mines causing more trouble for those Mutalisks than he cares. Oh, there's the scan, seeing them burrowed there. He has to be careful for the Fungal and the Infested Terran. I don't know whose game this is anymore. I don't know who's going to win it. I do know that fungal growth can detect the Widow Mines, but Widow Mines, remember, can still fire while fungal growth, which is going to be a bit of a problem. Of course, infested Terrans, not really something that are going to do much damage. The Banelings getting massive hits. The synergy between Banelings and Infestors, just amazing. There's Mutalisks continuing to be a threat as well, but this entire army that he killed just basically going to be reinforced at any moment. I almost feel, though, he's still on the back foot. He needs to get another expansion. If he can't get another base, or at least deny his opponent bases, he's going to be in trouble. The resource count for his opponent going up higher. The battle's engaged, though, and I will say he has pretty much evened out the supplies. There's just not enough Banelings on the field to stop him, really. That's just sort of how it is, and the base does indeed fall. The Infestors are sort of vulnerable, too. They don't have all that much energy left. If he keeps after them, he might be able to kill them all, probably realizing that they are low on energy. On the other hand, he doesn't exactly have a whole lot either on his medevacs, or a whole lot of troops left either. Basically, they're both sort of in a position where they're weary and tired, and this has been a 32-minute game. Oh my gosh, what on earth? You don't even see things like that. SCVs, where are you going? He's going to be trying to take this base. I should rephrase that. He has to take this base. He cannot let his opponent do anything more. On the other hand, it's finally been reversed. Apocalypse has the supply lead. He is going to probably dominate this battle at this point, although if he loses this base. but the Widow Mines there. Oh my gosh, he left all those Widow Mines. There's the big hits. It's just so painful to watch as Zerg bringing his opponent or units across, but there's oh my gosh, the Infester's there, and another Widow Mine hit, but I feel like that one was actually in the workers. This battle has just been crazy so far. Looking at all of these units, he does have this expansion up, but I mean, he lost a base to gain a base. That's not really the position you want to be in. On the other hand, his opponent has only one mining base as well. What's going to happen here? That queen could get lucky and take that medevac out. Nope, not going to happen. Oh my gosh, the battle is going on. He needs to. I don't think he can survive. I don't think Lucky can survive if he loses this base, and I don't think he has a chance of keeping it. So I think this might be GG for Lucky. I do not know though. The battle is continuing, and frankly, Apocalypse was 50 supply behind at one point, and he certainly came back from it. So I have no idea what is going on. This is one of the longest games I've ever even seen. He needs to burrow those Widow Mines, or he's going to be in a lot of trouble. If he can get one big hit off. Oh, there we go. But he does kill a few of his own workers, or not workers, a few of his own Marines doing it. And another big hit. Oh my gosh, those mutas surviving by the skin of their teeth. Oh my gosh, he doesn't really have... I don't think he can stop Lucky from killing him at this point, but it's going to be a base race from Mutas versus Marine Marauder. That's not a position you want to be in as Zerg. Mutalisk's not your best choice, especially not when there actually is units at home capable of defending. That one Marine has a death wish, by the way, but if he could kill that Overseer, it would be huge. That would be... oh my gosh, that Overseer is so low on health, and he needs to keep it alive at all costs. GG, I think, from Lucky. And Apocalypse is victorious. What a game. Oh my gosh. I still hate the matchup, though. Anyways, FTV, Vladerag.